let's just start off with your philosophy. How do you hope to help the world?
Yes, the big question. So really what I tried to do in all of my work is bridge the gap between the science, sort of the academic nature of psychology, mindset, and behavior change with health and fitness coaching specifically. So I'm looking at, okay, we know, so many people know, everybody knows that they need to work out, take care of themselves, eat healthy, but that's not enough to actually help them do it consistently. Like we see that everywhere. Everyone listening to this is like, yep, I know I'm supposed to do these things, but I can't seem to get myself to do it consistently. So my goal is to kind of try to figure out why that is. That's why I got a PhD in psychology, was to answer that question and spend some more time in that space. And so today, like I said, I'm continuing to bridge that gap between what we know from the research when it comes to behavior change and mindset and psychology, and bring that into and really give it to the hands of health and fitness professionals to help clients, and then also have a lot of like direct hand in helping clients in a one-on-one scenario as well when it comes to changing their behaviors and making them actually last.
So talk to me about changing behaviors. When it comes to fitness, it's everybody wants it so bad, right? I don't think I've ever met a human being that wasn't like, I want to become healthier and happier. Mm-hmm. Like as a number 1, 2, or maybe a number 3 priority. But yet we're so close to it. We want it so bad, but yet we're so far away. Why do we think this is?
So I'm incredibly biased because I spend so much time in this space, like literally researching this topic, but your mindset plays a really big role here. And of course, there's a lot of other things. Like, I mean, we could go into the rabbit hole of socioeconomic status and your motivation levels and based on your childhood trauma and like all of these things.
I actually want to do that.
We're going to go into all of the rabbit holes today.
Yeah, I think I really want to do that because when you talk about mental health or you talk about mindset, I think I even want to start high and define what mindset is. Yeah. And then let's take it all the way down to the granular level. We hear mindset, mental health
all the time.
It becomes this white noise in a sense that we're hearing it so much now. I know that I'm super happy at the increased importance of it and the narrative around it. But like, what is it? Like, let's start to define it. What is mindset? What is the set of a mind?
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, everything you just said, you could have just read from an Instagram post of mine because I totally agree. I'm so excited that so much of this stuff has become so popular and people are starting to recognize the importance of mindset and behavior change and like the psychological underpinnings of like who we are in the health and fitness world. And it's not just about, hypertrophy and mechanical tension and progressive overload and macros. Like those things, yes, are important, but really at the foundation is your mindset and your ability to actually do these things. So when we're talking basic kind of like broad definition of mindset, and this is also what's used in the literature as well, it's essentially your mindset is the lens that you're taking to see the world through. It's how you make sense of things. It's how you assign meaning to things. So if you're thinking of it that way, pretty much everything. Like
belief systems,
yes.
Like what you believe. Mm-hmm. So like everything. A set of your belief.
Correct. Okay. Yep. So it's just like, this is where I kind of operate from, and that's how I see the world through. So if we go like one step lower, we can look at growth versus fixed mindset, kind of like split that up into essentially two different options. It is sort of more of a spectrum. So you can lean towards one more versus the other. Most people are not like 100% fixed or 100% growth. But when we're looking at that, it comes down to how do you believe or not believe that you can change, improve, develop, learn a new skill? So someone with a fixed mindset does not believe that they can. And it may not be super obvious to them, sort of like back of your mind. It's like dictating what you're doing. Again, that lens that you're taking versus someone who has a growth mindset is more likely to see things as opportunities and setbacks as opportunities to learn, things of that nature, and really do, at the end of the day, believe that they can change. So that's kind of where my wheelhouse really is. My bread and butter is that growth versus fixed mindset and how it plays a role in health and fitness behaviors.
Wow, that's super interesting. So my next, I think, logical question would be, can we change that? Like if we are in this spectrum of growth to fixed mindset, and it seems like we might have this predetermination to be a way based on our DNA, based on our environment, based on our economic profile, based on the things that
Everything.
make us who we are. You're probably parents and teachers and professors that help mentor you and help shape you. So do we have this fixed predisposition to being growth/fixed, and then can we change it?
So it's funny because what I hear when you're saying all of that is like, is a fixed mindset. Like we are predisposed to be this way, and okay, can we maybe we can change it, but this is like kind of how we were born. Like that is just for the listeners, like a lot of those words and that way of like thinking is a very not saying that you have a fixed mindset, but that is like very classic fixed mindset. Like, oh, because I was raised this way, because I was born in this city or in this neighborhood, this is the way that I am. So that is a very fixed mindset way of thinking. However, yes, those things can change and your mindset can change. I mean, I've seen it done in lab studies. Like when I was still doing research at NC State, we would see it happen within 15 minutes. Reading a fake news article could shift your mindset. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's now like changed and is very concrete for the rest of forever when it comes to any type of domain or thing that we're talking about. Now you just have a growth mindset. Wow, it's amazing. But it can change, and it can change that easily. And that's actually, this is a potentially a different route we maybe don't want to go yet, but I worry a lot about social media and things like that, because people are putting out messages and they don't realize that those messages could be landing for people who are consuming them in a way that it is shifting that person's mindset. And that person doesn't know, the person who's creating the content doesn't know, because it really can be quote unquote like that easy. That said, if you have some long-standing beliefs, some things that have happened to you in your life, and you really truly don't think like this is something that I can change, I'm really not sure about that may take more than reading a fake news article or an Instagram post, right? And it may take more time to truly shift you into more of a growth mindset perspective, but it is 110% possible.
Yeah, what I hear you saying, which like I'm a very visual person, so as you're talking, I'm visualizing what you're saying, and to me, there's like this seed that you can plant in a sense that in that belief is maybe that thing that you saw on social media. Or, and it doesn't have to be social media. It could be the thing you saw on the billboard, the thing you saw on the TV, the thing your friend told you, the thing that, you were thinking repeatedly over and over without ever auditing that thought, right? It could be an original thought you grabbed onto that was actually somebody else's thought, a universal thought. But that seed then gets planted, and the way that it gets reinforced is if you continue to believe it over and over and over. And when you're looking for something, right? And tell me the science behind this. Like when you're looking for something to be reinforced, you're going to language it in a way that you want to be fulfilled for you. You're going to want to make sure everything that you're doing is proving yourself to yourself that you were right. Like, yeah, I am from this town, so therefore I can't do this thing. And here's all the evidence that I have to back this up, because here's what I saw out there. And the more you have that evidence, the more you have experience, to me, like the more the plant grows and the thicker the tree trunk gets. And like at some point, if we do that for 40 years, I'm assuming you've got this giant oak tree of belief, and it becomes very like more increasingly difficult to actually change the belief over time. Am I tracking? Tell me, like, bring that home scientifically for me.
I can't believe that's what was going on in your brain. You're just growing a tree in your mind.
I was growing a tree. You should see my notebook. Like, I'm a true visionary of a company. Like, don't give me anything with details. Like, that's what Morgan's great at. I'll just draw you pictures.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So yes, there's a lot going on here for sure. I think the first thing that I thought of was confirmation bias. So we will seek other pieces of evidence, other things in order to support what our beliefs already are. We just do that as humans. It's really great if you can start to pick up on yourself when you are doing that. We see it a lot too. People who are trying to find research to support their beliefs, they will do something called cherry picking and just find specific studies that actually support what they are thinking. But that doesn't mean that there's not other studies supporting the opposite, right? So we do that though in our day-to-day lives. Like we're constantly kind of seeking of like, oh, that makes me feel good because it makes me feel right. And they'll seek that and hold on to that. And if there's something that doesn't align, it's very easy for us to push that away. Another part of this too is that humans just really like to be consistent. for better or for worse. So we say, I can't do this because I'm from this town, or I can't lose weight because I've tried XYZ before and it's never worked. So I have all of this evidence. And now I'm saying, nothing ever works for me. I've tried everything. Now, when it actually comes to trying maybe something new that could work, we are very hesitant without realizing it to actually give it our all and try really hard, because in the back of our minds, we're thinking like, nothing's going to work for me. And I want to be consistent with that. Again, most humans don't realize that they're doing it. That's exactly what's happening. And that is where the tree continues to grow. So we really need to, a lot of this comes down to the most basic first step of anything is awareness. Becoming more aware of where you are just trying to be consistent, where you are just trying to confirm your current beliefs. So the more you can notice those things, you can kind of go, oh, wait, maybe there's another explanation for this too. Or maybe this is the thing that's going to work for me. It has nothing to do with the stuff I've tried in the past. This is an entirely new experience. I can't compare the two. So being able to notice those things, and everything that I just said too is more growth mindset way of thinking. So yeah.
So it seems like what you're trying to teach people to do in the midst of a fixed mindset is a tool, and that tool, based on the little narrative you just had with yourself, is questions. You have to ask the right questions and slow yourself down a little bit, because you and I both ran into many, many people who, self-awareness is so far away. And so to tell them, hey, be self-aware, they're like, I am, right? But the fact that they're saying they're self-aware when everyone in their life knows that they're not is evidence that they aren't self-aware. So what type of questions, what type of tools, if we're like far on this fixed growth mindset spectrum, and we probably don't realize it if we are really far on it, I would assume that you think you're actually on the other side on the growth mindset. How do you begin the process to actually of self-actualization, of self-awareness, when you're so far gone on the fixed mindset that things in your life are crumbling and everyone else is to blame? That's that's good evidence. If everything in your life is crumbling and you're pointing the finger at everybody else, well, and you're probably the common denominator, that's probably like the best scenario I can think of to be like on the fixed mindset side of things.